Who's the lead? Me?
You are.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, Jack, I should have said the best looking one, not the senior. Go downhill already. Keep digging. Okay, gentlemen, we have minutes from the meeting of April 1st.
Good to me. I'll make a motion to approve.
Vote.
I'll vote yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. We have a report here from Mr. Phillips from the fire department.
I don't have any reports on it.
No report tonight. All right, we'll go to Mr. Kaplan.
Just a couple things. Mentioned at the last meeting that we're looking to have the site plan for the park updated, revised, and make sure we're all working off the same set of plans. And we might have got it, she got it by a week by and as you might imagine, we sent some emails back to Joe for a couple corrections, and he's on vacation, so. Did she update the, I didn't see, on the most recent agenda, I had compensation for an assistant to the fiscal officer. She put it back on. We'll talk about that when we get to it. I talked to Jennifer Holtzheimer over KCE, and some of you were here when KCE did a presentation for, that one right there. It starts with one step, looking for donations towards park construction. They use, for folks that want to use this as a tax deduction, it goes through KCE, but it's their fiscal agent is the school. I don't know if we want to set up something separate here, or so it's Auburn specific rather than donation towards Auburn Park would be written off as a school donation. Just any thoughts on that? I did talk to her this afternoon, and that is what it's about. We have in place woodwork, but would this board want to make it more Auburn specific?
I think probably want to make it Auburn specific for the, we're talking about the gazebo, the things would basically be, resident specific. KCE, the fields and stuff, those can be run through the...
And they do have some donations already towards the fields, the athletic fields. Probably appropriate, like you say, that those stay as through that mechanism. But, if we have a resident or someone here that wants to donate something non-athletic to the park, maybe we should have some way to have that receipt here in Auburn.
Well, can you do that, run that through them, KCE, so that...
We could, she asked me to look at, the only thing I volunteered on this after talking to her today was, Chardon is a couple, 3 years ahead of us on doing that. And I don't know that they took any donations or anything like, but, you guys know Mike Brown, Chardon, trustees, and Jolene. Just ask how they handled it, if they did handle any donations. And if not, I don't know, maybe, I guess we gotta go to the auditor and ask Frank Leah.
After we get that clarified before we,
I told her I'd be chasing around this week and get back with her, but that was the reason for the two-page email.
Does Chardon have a cardboard?
They do not. Pretty sure they don't. They did that offer. They, it's up there by Meadow Road in Auburn. And they wanted to have that up and good run for their bicentennial, which was, well, it was 11. And they didn't. I don't know if they dealt with you know, the kind of things we're talking about right now in the CE. I thought I'd start there. If not, yes.
Con's probably the best avenue.
So that's all I have. It's not on the agenda.
Right. Jump back here. Susan, we had some bid openings for tonight for the furnishing of some asphalt. So we can go out and pick up asphalt for road repairs, and we have no bids.
Correct.
So I think we're gonna have to re-advertise that again. Maybe we can put that out tomorrow again and go for May, first meeting in May.
Yeah, that, as a matter of fact, that is, no, it's like 3 weeks.
Yes, 3 weeks. Okay, jump back to you, Wayne.
And I think, let's go back to the, we addressed the 44 property bids.
I'm gonna do that now, okay. Let's do it.
Good times, Danny. Do you have the bid packages, Susan?
No, but I know where one is. Should I go grab her?
Yes. To grab and use, I have to reference any questions.
Oh, you mean the bid we received?
The bid
What
we received.
from someone, yeah.
Chardon has a parks department,
Park Department.
parks and recreation,
Township.
the township.
Yeah. that's what
Was
we're
it City of
talking
Chardon or
I thought-
Chardon Township?
I thought it was the,
Who's this one?
city.
Yeah.
City, yeah. I don't think the township has a.
Oh, is that what you were talking about before, that was the parks, so the township?
Yeah.
We're a township.
Okay. Well, as everybody was here at the last meeting knows, we got the bid in. The high bid was from Kenneth R. Ashba III, and had bid $165,000. So I just thought we'd like to discuss that. Let's get everyone's opinion, see where we'd like to go with that. Yeah, personally, I look at it, what is something worth that someone is willing to pay for it? And this is, to me, this is a reasonable offer, based on what he's paying for the other properties. He's got a pretty solid plan for the direction he'd like to go in. And again, we reserve the right to accept or reject any and all bids. Get some comments?
Well, I think that basically you're selling land there, and you do have 2 buildings on that property that really both need to be taken care of or removed. So if you would add that into his bid, you'd see that the number would be considerably higher, based on what our cost basis is on this property. Makes the other acres that we bought far more attractive in that you're looking at a cost basis here of $80,000 an acre, and
versus our $7,000 an acre.
Right, well, you know, the main reason we purchased that was in order to get that cemetery property, that property contingent that was right next there. It's a very difficult thing to do to add cemetery property. And I know back, probably 10 years ago, we approached the property owner to the west, and for just to get 2 acres, and some was considerably higher. So having kind of accomplished our goal here, I think it's a reasonable bid myself.
I think it's in the ballpark, yeah. You know, the goal going into this was to, as you said, you can only expand it. To add cemetery space in the township, you have to either create a new one, which requires a vote of the public, have one donated. I don't see that coming at any point in the near or distant future. If somebody knows something out there that I don't know. Or you expand the current ones, and you can do that without a vote of the public. Now this one here, you know, we're somewhat landlocked here. Subdivision to the north, church property to the east, but there's no cemetery included in that property. So there was only 2 ways we could go, west or south, down here at the corners. And when that became available, the board went into it with a clear goal, a plan that we by and large stuck with, and yeah, you got something to say? No? And in short order, I think, you know, as far as the glacial place that townships move at, to get to the end of it in a couple of years, I think, or so. Well, probably we were able to do that, and have that additional cemetery to cover the need for generations. So I would have to concur with Mike. There's costs involved in keeping that property, real estate taxes, maintenance. So when you throw that into the mix too, very reasonable offer.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the offer from Kenneth R. Ashford III for $165,000 for the 17806 Ravenna Road property.
Do you want to make that contingent on entering into an acceptable agreement? Transferring the funds or
Okay. I'll make that as part of it, obviously. Contingency, contingent on the funds. All the paperwork, yeah, getting all paperwork, and subject to everything we take for the full transfer of the property and us getting our payment in full.
And of course, he gets a $40,000 sewer assessment on top of that price.
Please. We're not entertaining any questions.
No, you answered Skip's question.
So, is that your motion then?
That is my motion.
Okay. And do we want to put any kind of a timeline on to consummate the deal?
A reasonable time frame be 60 days.
I would think that would be reasonable. We'll have to go up to Bridie.
Certainly.
Work through her schedule a little bit. Then go back and forth to him, so that would give you the May. We can have at least 2 meetings in May. Why don't we make it into the second meeting of June? Does that sound good?
That should work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second meeting in June.
What's your motion? Did you read that? You got it.
Well, I wrote that the motion to accept Ken Ashford III's offer as presented, and I'll fill it out. Contingent on funds and paperwork being completed in full. And there's a, we will check with the prosecutor's office, and there's a 60-day limit put on it to achieve all this, which would take us to the second meeting, and we would act on it the second meeting in June.
Yes.
I'll second.
Is that, okay. Well, we're accepting it tonight.
Yeah, we're accepting his offer, but we still have to consummate the deal.
Right, through legal proceedings here. I mean, you know.
Unless he wants to bring in $165,000 cash, we'll do a quick claim, and there you go. Don't care about his real money.
Okay, PJ, your vote?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
John?
Yes. I think we need to return the big bond gun of the other bidder. And send them a letter. Okay. Mike, anything else?
I'm done with that. We'll address, yes, he will, the sewer assessments go with the property, we don't keep those.
Okay, so it's just when the property transfers.
Whoever owns the
whoever
property
owns it
gets-
Pays the assessment on it.
Right.
Got it, okay.
It's kind of like when you sell your house.
Yeah,
When I sold mine, I tried to get the, take the property tax, goes with it, came with mine.
yeah, understood, thank
All
you.
right.
Mike, do you mind if I ask a question?
Sir,
I had no dog in the sun, I just out of curiosity. Was this transaction for our cemetery, is that what I heard?
yeah, we purchased a 10-acre parcel up on 44, which goes back behind our cemetery. And we've been looking at this land a while back because Kozar had the property, didn't know what he was doing with it, and we were discussing whether we should approach him to see if they would consider selling a portion of that for the expansion of the cemetery. Well, within a few weeks of looking at that, this property went up for sheriff's sale. So we decided to it's up for sheriff's sale, put a bid on it, and our plan was to purchase the property, expand the cemetery, split off the remainder, and sell it, which is what we did.
Oh, okay, so this was, where I got confused is whether you were buying or you were selling.
Yeah, well, both.
We did both.
We already bought it, we split it off, we put 7 acres to expand the cemetery. There are 2 acres remaining with the house and the pole barn, which this gentleman just made the bid for. So we paid $221,000 for the 10-acre parcel, and we just accepted a $165,000 bid for the remaining 2 acres. So we're basically paying about $7,000 an acre for our 8 acres, and he's willing to pay $80,000 an acre for the remaining 2.
Can you educate me a little bit on cemeteries? This is the first I've kind of heard of cemeteries as being owned by townships. I think Chesterland also owns some cemetery property.
It's part of our revised code, yeah.
You gotta have a
Is it
place to
really?
bury the dead. That's
Yeah,
there's
that's-
2 things to this job, Skip, are you fix the roads and you bury the dead.
That's what we got to do.
Anything else is great.
I would think that would be a private enterprise kind of thing. I didn't know they were.
Used to be, used to be. Churches used to do
We have a
that.
full schedule here, gentlemen,
Yeah,
so
really.
if we can do that, save that history lesson for another night.
So we need to get that fixed.
Okay, anything else, Mike?
Nope.
Okay, Susan?
Oh, mine's short and sweet. Warrants,
Thank you, Mike.
number 9305 through 9324 for $88,380.55.
Okay. Couple things here, for the road department, we did receive the new backhoe, and it came in a lot nicer than the one we actually ordered, in that there was some air conditioning and radio and some hydraulic hookups on it that Cat put on us for us at no charge, and they delivered it on time. We've already run it out on 3 or 4 projects, and that extend a hose has been extremely valuable. And I can assure you that the road guys have gone over every nut and bolt on it. So that we have that thing going. We had, as we mentioned earlier, we've got some bids we put together to go out for cracks, replacements up in Lucky Bell, slab replacements, and then also, what's the third thing we had out there? We had
Crack seal project,
crack
concrete
seal.
expansion.
All of our crack sealing. So bids will go out. We've put a list together. We'll do exactly. We're running the same format we've run in the past 3 to 4 years here. We'll go road by road, and hopefully that we'll be able to do every road we put on the list again, barring the cost of it. We do have 2 things I want to get to. One is that we received bids last meeting for the chip and seal program for 2013. The low bidder was Hughes Contracting at $246,715. Hughes has done excellent work for us in the past, and probably one of the top chip and sealers around. And the engineers concur, and I'd like to make a motion that we accept Hughes Contracting bid for the 2013 chip and seal program.
Second.
You wrote PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and John.
Yes. Need to get some witnesses then for these signatures. The other bid that we received was for our asphalting of various roads. We had about 2 miles of roads that we try to do every year. And that bid was from Roniak Paving for $412,560. Engineer also recommends that they have no problem with them. We've had excellent work from them in the past as well. I'll make a motion that we award the asphalt resurfacing contract to Roniak Paving for $412,560.
I'll second.
PJ, your vote,
Vote yes.
Mike,
Yes.
John,
Yes. You know, actually, there's 3 spots we gotta sign.
Yeah, you've got one more here, John.
Yeah, actually, there's 2 more. Actually, there's 2 more. So the combination of the chip seal bid and the paving bid, very attractive this year. We're approximately $100,000 under the engineer's estimate. I think that's very pleased to see that, and that's a tribute to getting that bid out early. And there's those. John, can we get you and okay. Be a witness.
One place?
Great, there's 3 spots on
in
there.
one place.
Kind of moving on here, it was kind of brought to our attention through some discussions here that the employee handbook needs to have a clause added into it on the Family Leave Act section that while it's kind of crazy, while the township is covered by the Family Leave Act, we don't have any covered employees. It sounds crazy, but due to the fact that we have less than 50 employees, we need 50 employees, even though we're covered because we're a government agency. So we need to just add that language in the book.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to amend the employee manual to include 7.13 FMLA for the
Second.
prosecutor's office.
Your vote, TJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
And Jen?
Yes.
So we gotta comply with everything, but nobody's covered. That's
Right.
government at its best.
It
Yep.
is
Yeah.
government at its best, exactly. We've got Philip Atold did his Eagle project over here on the side of the building, and we had a proclamation here for him. Whereas on April 29th, 2013, Boy Scout Philip Atold from Troop 101 will be recognized by the Boy Scouts of America for successfully completing all requirements for Scouting's highest rank, and whereas we are gathered here on this occasion as friends, family, and members of the Scouting community to support him on his attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and to recognize the faithful and steady path taken within the Scouting organization. And whereas the Scouting for both boys and girls has been an integral part of the community of Auburn Township, as well as positive influence for many years. And whereas we commend Philip on his Eagle project, the planning, executing, and completion of a beautiful garden bed on the western side of the Auburn Township Administration Building, complete with mulch, garden rocks, planting of shrubberies, and flowering vines. Now, therefore, we, the trustees of Auburn Township, do hereby recognize and congratulate Philip Atold, Eagle Scout, for this outstanding accomplishment, and extend him our deepest appreciation for all his dedicated work, and wish him the best in all his future endeavors. Dated this 15th day of April 2013. So, Troop 101 has a long history of doing projects here in the township, and
The lady wrote me saying there are several Eagle Scouts coming up, and she said, would there be any projects? So I said,
we've always got some projects, yeah. Okay, next thing we have here is compensation and hours for the physical officer assistant.
Start with hours a week. Susan, now this is, I'm just shooting from the hip here, as, you know the job obviously a lot more than I do. I was thinking 8 to 12 hours a week.
Yeah, I
It's
was
a couple,
thinking 10,
2 or 3
so
half days,
average.
something like that.
Yep. Yeah, I have 10,
There you go.
and that's
Okay.
pretty
About that,
average.
we didn't even talk about this, so. Well, I was very clearly reminded today that we started our office administrator at $10 an hour. I think that was a suggestion, though.
Where'd that come from?
What do you think? I don't know, time marches on, and I was thinking 12. Take it from there.
Well, I guess one of the things is I think we're gonna have to get a feel for how long, and, will it, are you gonna need to have them here with you you know, what the time frame is really for longevity and all that sort of thing. If you got any idea on that, Susan, or just
Are you
when
saying
you
how
want
many
to
weeks
start?
or months?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, I think we should get started. A lot to learn.
Yeah, I think we've got to do it almost immediately. And the key thing is to replace you when you retire.
Right,
And get somebody trained in a relatively short period of time.
right.
The Columbus classes are,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they have.
throughout the year, they'll have those every
Right.
couple months.
I think they do. And I know, like after the election, for sure they'll have lots of classes for new trustees and stuff, this lots. But I think that they do have time at that time. Specifically check with them.
If we started in, say, the middle of May, first of June. June, July, August. We have,
I'm going to start mid-May.
yes, and
As much training as possible.
you wanna set a range from, 8 to 12, you wanna,
Well, obviously, no problem. Dollar amount, I mean,
no, 8 to 12 hours.
Hours?
Start with the hours.
well, we're nowhere near, you know, any, obviously, clearly part-time, so, you know. Susan said 10, that's, you know, however you want to do
Let's
it.
have 12 hours a week.
12 hours, okay.
You don't wanna be, you wanna make it specific? Okay.
Say up to.
Up to, okay.
And can you see any instances where they'd be doing more than that?
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. And then,
I think $12 an hour is fine. Again, this is just a short-term position leading up to fiscal officer position. That's going to be the key factor for whoever takes this job. So, this would make a motion. Go ahead and designate up to 12 hours a week at a rate of $12 an hour for the, as compensation for the fiscal officer assistant.
Second.
Okay, your vote, PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and John.
yes. We're already a little bit late here, but we haven't cut public comment.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. You commented that your bids, the bids that you accepted for the chip seal and asphalt resurfacing, that they were favorable. Could you tell me what dollars per mile each, the chip seal and the asphalt resurfacing came in at? You said a couple of miles of asphalt, but over 200,000 a mile seemed high to me.
It's 5.86 miles for the chip seal, 2 miles exactly for the asphalt resurfacing.
Okay, so it's over 200,000 a mile for the asphalt.
Yes, yes.
Actually, those are very favorable.
Typically,
We came
it's
in
400.
105,000 actually under estimate from the engineers. Feel good about that.
Okay, thank you.
It's, and then it also varies, there's, like on the chip seal, there's double layer that we put down, and there's different conditions, there's, 6 roads that will be surfacing, and there's a little different conditions on each one of those, but they're all lumped in with one bid.
And that chip seal investment goes 3 years now. So that's on a 3-year rotation.
Yes,
so it won't be
I would
that.
like to just thank the opportunity here to speak, and then I want to make sure that, that good side's towards the camera here. I had so many things I was going to share at this time, however, in conservation of time, I'll get right to the chase. I do not hold any degrees at all, other than the School of Hard Knocks and Life Certificate. So what I'm about to say is truly just my own thoughts. Auburn was such a nice place to live. Once upon a time, my best memories were back in the 60s and 70s. A lot went on here as a community. Everybody pitched in, helped each other in the community, and no matter what their differences were. Gossip was there, but that's every small town. But the same folks that made gossip would also be right by your side if there was a need. I moved to Texas in 1980 for 30 years, and upon coming back, I was astonished at the lack of community remaining here in Auburn. I'm truly saddened. I watch and listen to see what's going on, and it reminds me of a little town in Texas, Lucas, all over again. The vocal minority seem to be terrorizing the whole darn town. These fine elected officials are doing their best in a thankless job. And I, want to commend them for that. They may not make the decision I completely agree with on some occasions. However, that being said, I don't believe negative reinforcement of any kind, be it taping the meetings or written word, will ever truly help bring this community together. Who would want to bring a business or a family to Auburn if they were to read some of the negative things that have been written and be made feel uncomfortable even more if they come to speak in a meeting thinking that they may too say something that could be misconstrued for the vocal minority to twist to what I see to be their means of satisfaction and the pain of others. I sat on many boards, planning and zoning and city councils in Lucas for more than 10 years and watched the same thing unfold as I see here. So sad when folks have available time to put in the negative effort. I can only imagine what might happen if all of this negative were aside and replaced with positive things of Auburn, what might just occur. Once again, I would thank you for your time and only ask that every one of us look into our hearts in the mirrors before we pass judgment on others. Gains are only made when you lift others up. Thank you for your time.
One final question. There is an election coming in November, and I've seen 2 different rules on, the rule is going to change in June as to how many days before an election that require, not an appointment, but an election. So the question is, Susan, is there a plan to have an election in November for this position?
No.
It will be appointed, then do what? To fill out a term?
Well,
Whoever appointed will eventually have to go
Run,
and be
yeah.
elected in the next election.
Yeah, okay, but because Susan has like 3 years yet to run, it's my understanding that with that amount of time, then it's necessary to do an election. If it were 2 years or less, then an appointment would be feasible.
well, I'm still working, so,
Is that a question, or
Yeah,
somebody could address the issue?
No, I just had a question, not regarding that. If there was any updates on the Munn Road, Taylor May, Bartholomew intersections, I noticed it hit the paper last week. I just didn't know if there was any updates from you guys.
Yes, the sheriff is going to be providing some extra patrols on the Munn Road Taylor May intersection, and you will also probably shortly see at some random times one of their portable speed machines that tells you your speed, and it will record the speed of the vehicle, the time of the day, and that will be very valuable in assessing that intersection. The county engineer is well aware of the scenarios at that intersection, and they have reviewed the signage, they've reviewed a lot, and they haven't moved this off their plate. There's nothing immediate to be coming out, but they are still assessing what can be done to help give more sight time for people, and all of the numbers show right now if you're speeding going northbound on Munn Road, you have very little time to react to if your car pulls out from Taylor May going either direction. And that in fact has been the bulk of all the accidents that have happened there. It's been a car speeding, usually going northbound and pulling into, our car pulling out into the intersection and getting hit. And so that's, it does meet all of the minimums for sight distance at 55 miles an hour actually. But it's still been a source of danger. It's usually a person, an elderly or an older resident getting hit by a person who's new to the area. That's another interesting thing at that intersection. So, okay. We do have some interviews that we have to conduct here, so with that, we're going to have to make a motion to go into executive session.
Can I ask one question for the executive session? Just to clarify, at the Kinston Business Advisory, you said that Susan was going to be retiring because of the transition in the way this is to be dealt with, and that she'd have to stay on for 10 more years, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, if you say that she's retiring, is there an anticipation of when she will be retiring?
That will be up to her. She has to retire within the time frame to allow her to receive it, which would be by the end of the year. Or actually, now it's moved up. They moved it up a year. It could be, she could actually stay another year. But I think she's, along with things, she's good enough, huh?
Second.
Good.
Thank you.
Need a motion to close the meeting?
Now we'll move into executive session.
Second.
Okay, PJ, you vote?
Yep.
Mike?
Yes. Okay. I have to ask those of you that are, other than Mr.